you wanna say, I won't go back. If you wanna hit the road, then let's go then. Let's just go and see the world and just show them what it really means to live life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden.
Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a detailing tips and tricks video. So I thought I'll, since I already showed the video of the interior and exterior process, that I'll compile it and make, one general video that kind of sums up everything and goes over some reasons why I do certain steps, reasons why I choose like certain products or certain ways of doing something. By all means, like I'm not perfect, but, let's see how this goes. So I guess the first thing is let's start off with the detailing routine. In a detailing routine, typically the most important things are the plan and the prep work, right? In terms of the plan, it's basically the order that matters, right? Why you should do certain things first. And another thing is, what to focus on, right? Because every detail you'll be focusing on one thing. If it's wheels or whatever. For prep, the most important thing is, researching, products, different methods of doing certain things. And then also the equipment, right? Equipment includes like your tools or your detailing products. Let's start with the plan, right? So for the plan, the most important thing is, the interior. So I typically do the interior, then I go to the exterior, right? The reason for that is so that you're going to be touching the doors, in and out of the car. You're going to be touching all these panels, so, to avoid any fingerprints or smudging, right? Yeah, and I guess it's like a good practice, right? Because then you have everything kind of fixed. You don't have to worry about it. So for the interior, what I like to do is, you got to focus on like the order, right? So to say, these are like the four parts of the car, and that line is the front. I typically go from the passenger side all the way to the front. This area, the driver's side, because that's typically where the most dirt is, right? You're going to be driving the car the most and, for obvious reasons. The next thing is, going and seeing, right? Like all the different materials, all the different leathers, everything that's in your car, right? Feeling it and understanding like what type of material it is. Because for each material, you're going to need like a different product, right? That's specialized for that. Like, for example, if I have Alcantara in my car, I want to find the best Alcantara for that specific car brand and the specific, type of Alcantara there is. By doing this, you avoid mistakes of, using the wrong product and then messing it up. And I guess the best way of doing this is just like watching videos and just kind of like trial and error. That's how I've been doing it and just kind of figuring out. Like, for example, I know that turtle wax typically for B&W leather is really good. So I typically use that for all my B&W products. Another thing is, specific products, right? So one thing you want to focus on is getting the right, like, cleaner and conditioner, right? What I typically like to do is, like, for like leather, like I want a separate cleaner and then a separate conditioner. I don't try to combine it. Like I've tried it before and it hasn't worked out the best. It's better to split up those steps. For exterior, the main thing is you want to avoid touching, right? You don't want to avoid as much scratches as possible. And how I typically like to do that, so there's another thing. Is you want to, you have to understand that there's no such thing as the perfect touchless wash, right? These touchless washes at gas stations, they have a lot of chemicals that break into your wax coating or other coatings, right? So typically how I like to do that is, right, so I wash my car, right, with like I put water, then I put soap, and then when I dry, what I like to do is I air dry it, right? And then only if there's any spots that I missed or any spots that I want to touch up, that's when I use a microfiber towel, right? I try to avoid touching as much as possible, right? And, the whole point of soap and everything is you want it to use as like a gliding agent, right? You don't want to put too much pressure on it. And another thing you should focus on is the split up, right? So how I typically, say this is the four wheels of the car. This is the front part of the car, sides. Is the back part of the car, right? So front, back. So what I typically like to do is I start with, the front part of the car, right? Like the roof part of the car. That's like, the highest point of the car. Then I start doing, the glass for both sections. Then I'll do the doors, each door panels. Then I go to the back, the other door panel. And then I like to do the front last. The reason for this is because, you want to go from like a higher to lower height. And the other thing is you want to go from, least dirtiest to most dirtiest, right? To avoid any buildup of any dirt or bugs. The front has a lot of bugs and you want to avoid that. So what I typically like to do is, I like to split up like even the mat, the microfiber mats that I use, like, or the sponge. So I'll typically use one for the body, and one for the lower parts and the wheels, right? Because they're a bit more dirty. They have like all the road, the dirt from the road, and your wheels, right, and your brake dust. And so yeah, thank you. Hope you enjoyed the video.